She doesn't even go here.
I'm bi, actually.
Excuse me. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Hi, I'm Kurt Hummel, and I'll be auditioning for the role of kicker.
Hello! Welcome in. Thank you so much for listening. I'm your host, Alicia.
I am also your host, Luke.
And this is Not So Straight Nerds. Today we are talking about a very fun episode. I'm excited to talk about it.
There's lots to talk about.
Yeah. We are talking about The Peacemaker Show, seasons 1 and 2. Probably mainly 2, but we haven't talked about the first one. So,
And I think it's important to talk about the first one going into this conversation.
Too. So, yeah.
Before we get too far in that, it's
vibe check. See our allotted singing time.
That's it every episode?
Yeah. Vibe check. We're not allowed to sing the rest of the See, I did it twice. I'm sorry. I cheated. I'm going to be struck down by lightning.
Dang.
Anyways.
My vibes are pretty great. I had a solid weekend. I haven't watched a movie in like 3 days, but
that's crazy.
But I watched all of the releases this weekend.
Yeah.
Which was super fun.
Yeah. I'm also good. I'm excited to record. I feel like I have good energy. I feel like last week the vibes in my work were not good, and today I thought it was not going to be good, and I actually think it was good. So that's all I'm going to say like that. So about that, whatever.
We love things not being as bad as we thought they were going to be.
Yeah. Also, I had a longer weekend because of, I don't want to say what, what's the other Indigenous People Day? That's what I want to call it, personally. Anyways. So, I finished Young Justice. Very good. I binged The Traitors Season 3. I don't know if I'm going to go back to watch Seasons 1 and 2, although I have heard, I think, specifically Season 1's really good. Can't say why, but apparently it's really good. So maybe, at some point. Now I'm trying to watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because we're watching Dancing with the Stars, and 2 of those people on there are from that show. And I like both of them, but I feel like the internet doesn't like one of them, so I'm just, like, too curious why. And I feel like I still like both of them so far, but I'm only halfway through season 1, so we'll see. Although the things I know about their husbands, dedication night tonight on Dancing with the Stars is going to be like, ick. I'm going to be like, oh, their dance is so good. It's dedicated to an abuser, essentially. So there you go. Yeah. Anyways, that was a lot about not my vibe. Anyways, that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm watching.
That's the mental space that you're in right now.
Yeah, just a lot of drama. The show is basically just about a friend group that hates each other and pretends they don't. So there you go. Drama. It's like the Kardashians. It's like y'all hate each other, but then you act like your family. So I don't know.
But I mean, at least in that regard, they like are.
That's true. It is like it's okay sometimes because they are actual siblings. These like people don't have to be around one another, but they want clout more than they care about peace of mind. So there you go.
And then I don't know. I don't get the appeal of watching someone be the consequences of their own actions. I don't know if that was the right way to say that, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, of people suffering through the choices that they're actively making.
Oh, yeah. Like, on the show, they complain. They're like, I can't believe so-and-so told so-and-so the horrible thing I said about that person. I'm like, but you said it.
On camera.
And you know what? Yeah. And on camera, it's like some friend groups, I'm like, sure, I understand that. Not this friend group. Also, everything's on the internet. Everything's being recorded. So it's like if the friend didn't tell them, this show would. Like, this footage would be on here. So I'm like, it's different if you're, like, in private and you tell them, like...
I had
like,
the same thought watching some of the stuff on, like, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's like...
Also, I fear we've officially talked too much about reality television.
Yeah, we need to move on. Oh, my gosh. It really, like, infects your mind. It really does. Anyways.
Okay. So I wanted to start this conversation because
this whole conversation really circles around James Gunn's live-action DC projects so far.
Yeah.
So we are going to start with ranking James Gunn led projects. That includes all of his
Yes.
movies and the shows that he has led that we have seen.
Yeah.
Important note.
Feel like we have the same 9. We've seen. Well, no, you might have 10.
I have
Probably.
11.
I'm forgetting one.
I guess we'll find out as we go, won't you?
Yeah. Wait, I don't know what I'm
I'm
forgetting.
very curious what you're
okay,
forgetting.
I have the 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies
Uh-huh.
and the holiday special.
Mhm.
I have Superman, Suicide Squad,
Mhm.
the first Scooby-Doo, and then Peacemaker and Creature Commandos.
Do you have Peacemaker season 1 and 2?
Oh, I didn't know we were splitting them up.
Oh, of course.
That's fine. Oh, that does change things, I feel like. Well,
She's the
does
thinking.
it? I feel like I don't care. I actually don't think that changes that much. Sure. Let's just
doing
do
great.
that. Well, I'm gonna do this a little differently because I already wrote 9 on my board. I have no more room. Anyways,
I'm
wanna
gonna
go first
ahead and
then?
start with my
Yeah.
11. You said you're starting at 9?
I guess
Okay, so that means...
it's a little off, but it's fine. It'll be
hold
okay.
on, I'll go ahead and do my 11 and 10.
Yeah. Because I have to split it up weird.
sorry.
Oh no, it's John Wick.
Okay, cool. At 11, I have Creature Commandos, and then at 10, I have the Holiday Special.
Yeah.
I will
so-
say, already, huge gap between these two things.
Yeah.
I love that people enjoy Creature Commandos. I went in expecting to absolutely adore it. I love monsters. I love superheroes. I think it is just so crazy that he somehow managed to make me not like the combination here. Like,
Yeah.
basically at all. The only thing I actually really like are some parts of the Bride's story and, like,
I love
only,
the
like, in
Bride.
origin.
Yeah. I love the Bride.
And, like, the character designs. That is, like, all that I, like, carry positively from the show.
I don't remember.
And G.I. Robot, he's a fun
Yeah.
character that I was introduced to.
I also feel like I didn't care too much about this show. I don't know. I want to rewatch it and try to give it a chance, but I do remember, and we watched it separately too because I think it came out 2 years ago, or like right before I moved back or something like that.
Mhm.
I feel like we watched it separately and we had the same thoughts. So, because sometimes I do wonder like how much maybe we influence each other's things, because we also, it's not just like vibes, but we also like point things out, which might be a good or bad thing. But this show that's not the case, so I don't know.
Yeah. And then Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. I think it's fun. I think it's
Yeah.
cute. It adds an interesting element with the lore drop that... Oh my gosh. By the way, spoilers. Minor spoilers for these.
Yeah.
But basically it canonized Mantis being Peter Quill's sister, which I think is a
Sister.
great addition.
Yeah.
And then it just has some funny gags. Besides that, I think it's maybe a tad unambitious, but I don't think it was, particularly
Kevin
trying
Bacon
to.
bit was really funny.
Sure.
It was very funny.
Kevin Bacon.
It was funny because they picked the 2 characters that it's extremely believable that they would just like kidnap a human and not realize how bad that is. They'd be like, "Look, we got you a present," and he's like, "What the fuck did you do?" Yeah.
And I will say,
I
I
love
think that's
them.
where that's the first time we really saw Mantis's powers be used in a manner where it's it seems like a fun ability to have,
Yeah.
and that's so fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like what they did with her
Yeah.
as well.
I agree. And Cosmo, the dog.
Cosmo's great.
Very fun. So my number 9/10, whatever, is also Creature Commandos. I will say I do want to rewatch this before season 2 comes out, and so we'll see if I think any differently. I don't know, because I have watched a lot of DC content since then, so you never know. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Huh? My number 9. I have Peacemaker season 2. I will say I think there's a lot of great stuff in this season. I think ultimately, as we'll get into, it has some issues that I think bring it down for me a lot in the like very tail end of this show.
Okay.
Like I love what they're building towards, and then they just drop it all very suddenly. And I think ultimately it just feels very incohesive.
Yeah, well, and I feel like actually I've seen that a lot on the internet. So we're not alone in that.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's not a super hot take for sure. Even like James Gunn has now acknowledged that he's seeing like mixed reviews about it.
Interesting.
So, and I actually really like his response. I think it was really professional. I think he was like,
What was the response? I've not seen that.
It was something like, I have seen that. I personally really liked the episode, but obviously, like, it's subjective, open to interpretation. So, and I think that's totally fair. Like, obviously, you wouldn't make hopefully, you wouldn't make something.
As the head of the studio, it should not be possible for something that you're controlling.
Yeah. He's acknowledging it. He's not shying away from it. He's saying, I really liked it, but I also acknowledge that other people didn't. And, that's okay. So, plus he has like the full picture of things, which might, slightly change, like he knows what he's building towards. So, there's a different picture there. So, yeah, I can respect that. And, sometimes his like replies are not so great. Yeah. So, I respected that was, I feel like, pretty good. Yeah. Anyways. Okay.
Your
My
number 9.
number 8/9 is Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. I also thought this was very fun. My grandparents, it's so funny because my grandparents are like very like, they don't like cursing. They're very like church people, but they love the Guardians, and that like blows my mind. But they love, and I'm like, that's like their favorite. My grandma, her favorite is Iron Man, but then second to that, Guardians. My grandpa, probably Guardians is his favorite. So I don't know, and they loved it too. So yeah, I think it's very fun.
That's very fun.
So yeah.
My number 8, I have the first Scooby-Doo movie. I love Scooby-Doo growing up. I continue to absolutely adore it.
Yeah.
And this was a huge movie for me whenever I like watched it for the first time.
It's
so
like
great.
a very interesting movie. The CGI like is horrible, but
It
like
is. But
it's not what it's about.
But like the
guys.
charm makes it work for
yes.
me still. Like the charm behind it all still makes it work for me.
It's really funny.
I will say the ultimate villain at the end is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
And then I wish the monster designs were a little more compelling.
Yeah.
Besides that, I think a really solid entry and some amazing set pieces.
Yeah.
Like I think of like the ride that they get stuck in, and Freaky Island in general.
Yeah.
So fun.
Very fun. And the actors for Fred and Daphne are, I think, married.
Yes.
At least together.
Not to mention, like, perfect casting.
Yeah.
On top of
I think that's
everything
adorable.
else.
Yeah. Great memories there. My number 8/7 is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So, yes, I put this a little low. Listen, I haven't watched this in who knows how long. I actually could not tell you. I did not rewatch the movies before watching the third one. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw this one. I just don't remember a whole lot of this one. I vividly remember the first and third one. I mean, obviously, I remember parts. I remember the villain, the big twist, lots of parts of it, but I don't know. I feel like this is definitely my least favorite of the 3. And I would not say that it's bad. I still think it has great moments, but it's just my least favorite of the 3, and that's okay. So,
Interesting.
yeah. I feel like when that's the least favorite of the 3, you're doing a good job. So, yeah.
For sure. My number 7, I have Peacemaker Season 1. I will say the first time I watched this was when I had watched The Suicide Squad one time, and I really didn't like it, and I absolutely hated Peacemaker.
You
both
really did.
Both as a character and his role in the movie. Like, I think it was just a horrible combination, or at least I, at the time, thought it was just a horrible combination that didn't work.
Yeah.
And then the idea on top of it all is that this is the character going on into a spin-off that nobody asked for.
He really likes Peacemaker, man.
It was
Really
a
likes
really
it.
hard pitch for me, and I
Yeah.
definitely didn't watch it for a while after it came out.
Wow.
It was one of my friends at the time convinced me to give it a try, and I watched it, and I will say I was surprised. I enjoyed this more on my first watch than I did The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I still have some issues with it, which we'll get into. But ultimately,
Yeah.
I think I think they do some fun stuff.
I agree. My number 6 or 7 or whatever is Scooby-Doo. I love this movie. I did not see, well, at least I don't remember the second one enough to rank it. I might have seen it. I don't remember. But I love the first one. Very iconic. I still love Daphne's whole fight scene near the end where she spins and kicks somebody.
Yeah, she's
I love when she's gagged for her outfit, which would be more like, that's a good point if she didn't wear the same outfit like all the time. But I think it's just a funny joke because she always wears that outfit like every season. So, yeah. Anyways, very fun.
Cool.
I grew up on Scooby-Doo, so love the movie.
My number 6, I have The Suicide Squad. Now, as I said just a second ago, hated this movie the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
There were elements that I liked from it, but I thought overall it just did not work for me.
Yeah.
Seeing some people talk about it over time gave me some like more appreciation for it. And then we just rewatched it, I think right before Peacemaker season 2 came out. And I don't know.
We watched it before we rewatched season 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was very, I don't know. It worked a lot more for me.
Me too.
I still
I'm
maintain
so glad it did.
like at least a decent amount of the issues I had the first time. They just didn't. I think everything else just worked so cohesively for me that when I rewatched it,
Yeah.
that they didn't bother me nearly as much.
It would be so nice if Creature Commandos could also have
No,
that effect.
I would love to have that same experience happen, and maybe
Yeah.
it will.
Yeah.
But it took
I
a long
mean,
time
we'll
between
see.
these two.
Yeah.
I fear it's still too fresh for me to
Yeah,
rewatch.
We'll see.
But yeah, I think, and especially like the visuals and like the setup for those visuals, like the title cards specifically, I think inspired and
So
such
fun.
flavor.
Yeah. Very fun. And it makes me miss them in Superman, actually.
Yes, such
I
a
don't
missed
feel like-
opportunity they didn't do that. That's
yeah.
crazy.
It's one of those things where, like, sure, you didn't need them, but why not have them? You filmed them. You can clearly see where some of them were supposed to be. So, I don't know. It's interesting. But, anyways. My number 6 and 5, so I'm officially caught up at this point. I don't have to keep saying 2 numbers. Is Peacemaker season 2 and then season 1. So I feel like I actually really like Peacemaker as a character. I would still say the first time I watched it, because I just didn't like the movie, I probably didn't appreciate him at all. But I feel like I have a lot of sympathy for characters that have very like toxic parents, but they're still trying to hold on to the fact that they're like their parent at the end of the day, and what that means for them. Is their future set? Are they a bad person? Do they just follow orders, or can they make their own decisions? What all does that look like for people? And I feel like I have a much better appreciation for what they did with his character in the Suicide Squad, having seen season 1 of Peacemaker. And then especially in season 2, I don't want to get too far into it, but they have a line talking about like the bad things that he's done in his life that he just beats himself up for. And they're saying all those times you were just following someone else's order. And I really love that because I feel like I believe that. Obviously, a lot of them still had huge consequences. So it's not like still chose to do that, but it wasn't out of your own heart. It was just bad guidance, basically, and you listened to the wrong person. So I really appreciate that. I think that's beautiful, and yeah, it makes me appreciate his character a lot more. So, yeah. Anyways, I didn't really talk specifically about seasons 1 and 2, but, we're going
We'll get
to,
there, we'll get
so
there.
It's okay. I feel okay.
My number 5, I have Scooby-Doo 2.
Monsters Unleashed. As a kid, for the longest time, I would have told you this was my favorite movie.
That's really funny.
I loved it. Bringing the Scooby-Doo monsters that I loved in animation to life as antagonists. So fun.
I probably did watch it, and maybe I do remember it, and I just, need something to unlock it. I don't know.
There's also a scene
yeah.
where Scooby-Doo, is fighting the tar monster and, using a fire extinguisher to, freeze him, and, it completely turns to ice, and it is just so satisfying.
It's a standout, but no, super fun, super campy. Oh,
And I think
the whole story arc and line is such an improvement on the first one.
and then this the idea of giving them a costume museum for all of their bad guy costumes, I think that's so fun.
I feel like this is similar to me, but I can't quite unlock it yet. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, speaking of Peacemaker stuff, I put the Suicide Squad as my number 4. I guess I need to let you go one more time, because I did 2 in a row, technically. Or I could just be ahead one, I guess. That's okay. Anyways,
go ahead.
I really liked this movie on the second watch, and I'm very happy I did, because I don't like to dislike things, especially when other people like them. I'm like, I wish I got it. Sometimes, it works out this way, and sometimes it doesn't. So, anyways, it was very fun. Because it's definitely not fun to rewatch a movie that you didn't like, so I'm glad I rewatched it and liked it. So, yeah. Anyways.
For sure.
I will say it didn't help that I saw the movie for the first time with my dad. And he's also kind of very, churchy, so it was, some of it might have just been embarrassment that I was witnessing this in front of him. So... But I've also gotten over that a little bit. I watched Sinners with that man, and I was fine. So I was honestly fine. But also I had a really good theater where they cracked up at a lot of the could have been embarrassing scenes. So there you go. Anyways,
And what number was that for you?
that was my number 4.
Okay, cool. My number 4, I have Guardians of the Galaxy
Volume 2. I will say of the actual movies, I agree with you that it's my least favorite, but I still think it's very solid.
I think so too.
Especially with how he adapts Ego as a villain, because that is not what he's like anywhere else. He's literally
okay.
just a giant planet that talks.
Oh, I feel like you told me
And
this.
if you go inside of his head, there's a very small circular version of him that connects to the greater planet. And he has a squeaky voice. James Gunn cooked with his adaptation here.
Good.
Also, I don't know if he ever had anything to do with the Guardians of the Galaxy other than being that. The whole he's a celestial, and that he's Star-Lord's dad. Completely invented by James Gunn, and I think makes that character infinitely more interesting.
Yeah, I love that.
I will say, as a small note on this one, I wish he maybe had Mantis cook a little quicker, because by the time we see her in 3, she's an iconic member of that team, and I think she's fun in this movie. I wish I don't know, I wish there was some momentum on her a little quicker.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's totally fair.
But it also, in between this one and Guardians 1, the humor got a lot raunchier here, and that worked a little less for me.
Okay.
It feels like the humor's just a lot more immature than I think the first one or the third one is.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I find a lot of those jokes to not be nearly as funny as the movie thinks they are.
Yeah. Well, and I think was part of my problem with the Suicide Squad, the first watch. It was just, so raunchy to me, but also I was younger. There's some factors going into that. So, yeah. I feel like I had something. Oh, I feel like James Gunn is a really good person to restart the DC universe, I guess. whatever it's called now, because he's really good at adapting characters that people didn't really previously care about all that much, or bringing them together in a fun way. And with Superman, I feel like so far he's been good at adapting like very well known characters as well. He really just like dives deep into what gives them like that chemistry, and which helps when you're building a team like Guardians of the Galaxy or whoever, knowing them at their core, so then you can know who to put together and all those things. But then when you just have Superman, that's fun too. So yeah. Speaking of Superman, that's my number 3. I know, I loved that movie, so you might be surprised that I put that low.
It's a
But I
little lower
mean,
than I expected from you.
I don't know, these top 2. I'm like, my top 3, I would say, are like basically perfect to me. I would say.
Fair.
Anyways.
My number 3, I have the first
Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I feel
So
like
good.
this one gets a little overlooked in the conversation for
It
some
does,
reason.
yeah.
I feel like it entirely chalks up to like Ronan being the antagonist, and Ronan not being like a flashy personality or anything. But also he's not supposed to be. It's like supposed to be such a reference to like the campier space movies that like take itself super seriously, and then like having these crazy characters as your protagonist. It all works, like, and it especially highlights how crazy they are with characters like Ronan and the Nova Corps that are just so serious, and then here you have these goofballs who are the ones actually like saving the day. I think I don't know, I love the choices made in this movie, and they do so much lore work. Hearing them talk about like the different races and stuff that they invented for like all of their like background shots, set pieces are amazing, the action's incredible, and he just completely revamped what this team is.
Yeah. All the songs, like
Song
he's
choices, so amazing.
Yeah, he usually picks some really great songs.
for sure.
9 out of the 10 times. So my top 2 is the Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, and my number 1 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So I love and adore these movies. I think they're great. I agree that the first one gets overlooked in the conversation. I think it's one of the best, like, not solo, but like first
A great debut
movie.
film.
Debut in the MCU. I think it's like probably top 10 without even like really thinking about it. Probably top 5 debuts, I would say. Anyways, number 3 is like my baby. I love number 3. I saw it like 3 times in theaters, which is crazy for me. I almost never see a movie twice, much less 3 times. That one, I saw Barbie like 3 or 4 times. Little Women, I don't remember. I loved Little Women, but I also was nowhere near as into film when that came out. So I don't even know. But anyways, I loved that film. I think it was great. It made me sob the first time. It was one of those, like, I was really hoping it was good, and it was even better, and I love when that happens. So, anyways.
My number 2 and 1 are
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Superman. I truly think that Superman is his magnum opus so far.
So good.
And I think it's very exciting to see where he goes from here.
Yeah.
but Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so heartfelt,
And like the introduction of these new characters without making them like front and center, I think they do some fun work.
Yeah.
And the ability to say goodbye without, losing characters, I think is a very
Crazy.
bold choice, but
Yeah.
to still make it feel so emotional is
Yeah.
it's very impressive.
Yeah. I think it's nice. I think they do it in such a perfect way where it's like, I'm okay never seeing these characters again. I mean, I'm okay seeing them again, but like, I feel like I don't need to. Even for just like a cameo, like, I'm okay if they never come back, because it was such a great send-off for them. So, plus, like, I'm sure he got some input in what they did with the team in the Avengers movies, but I still like how he handled that, because I'm sure he didn't have full control over that.
Sure.
So yeah, I think that's impressive. Superman's impressive just because like there were so many versions of it, so many like TV shows and all these things, like so many opinions. That's like the character to not mess up. Like the number one character, like there's not even Spider-Man, Batman, like nobody's like you can mess those up before you mess up Superman basically.
Mhm.
I would think. So props to him. I think it's very impressive.
I agree. I completely agree. So I wanted to start this conversation off. We talked a little bit about...
I also saw Superman, I think 3 times in theaters, now that I think about it.
You just...
2 or 3 times at least. I know, sure.
You scared me with that gas.
Sorry. I just remembered that. I was like, oh my gosh.
But I wanted to quickly kind of recap
The Suicide Squad. This is basically a trilogy so far.
Yeah.
So, the Suicide Squad...
The second attempt at trying to make the Suicide Squad happen.
I will say, like, I would probably... I don't remember what I thought about comparing the two. It's just hard to compare the two because they're so different in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I still probably would have agreed that the new one was better even after watching it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Because of... I don't know.
I think...
I actually like parts
I
of
like the first one
original.
more than other people do, but
Kill
they
me.
do just make some, like, crazy and nonsensical choices throughout.
Yes. Like, I love the Enchantress.
Enchantress,
You will never pry that from my hands.
I think
Love
the
the
adaptation of
Enchantress.
Harley Quinn is fun.
Yeah. I mean,
it's-
very iconic for sure. That everybody was her for Halloween. And I mean, like, everybody. So, yeah. Anyways. Even though that outfit is not appropriate. But, anyways.
But going into this one,
I was super excited for it, especially because I think a very valid complaint from the first one is that one Suicide Squad member actually gets the button detonated, and then one sacrifices themselves. Also, we should probably be front here. Great point. We're going to be talking spoilers
going forward
Great
for...
point. I didn't say
Yep.
anything.
The Suicide Squad and both seasons of Peacemaker.
Possibly some things here and there for other DC shows. We'll try and give you a heads up beforehand.
Yeah.
But do be warned, we will be getting into spoiler talk. You've been warned. As I was saying...
You were like, someone died.
Wait a minute. And you should,
You
know,
should know
this
this
too.
too. No, get out of my brain. Anyways.
But...
So I think it is very valid that you don't get the full Suicide Squad team experience if you're not seeing people's heads randomly blow off.
Yeah.
Not randomly, but like being blown up. That's like the premise.
Yeah.
So...
I was very excited for that. I think the team was huge in like the trailer because the whole thing was who's gonna live, who's gonna die.
Mhm.
I remember people making like ranking lists on how
Stacked cast
on who
too,
they
I
thought
would
was
say.
going to make it to
Pretty
the end
stacked.
and like
Mhm.
when people were gonna die.
Yeah.
And yeah, they had a lot of
I mean-
fun cameo stars essentially.
Sure.
And then
yeah.
the main cast I think is also very talented.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, maybe some of them are like not so popular now, but like Jared Leto, I don't.
That
I
he
thought-
wasn't in that one. He's in the original.
the first one. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about that
No,
one.
I am
The
talking
stacked
about
cast
the
in
Suicide
both. I would say some fun members. I'm just thinking like Will Smith. Like that's a big name to
Sure.
have in your movie. I would say Margot Robbie. I feel like I would not say so at the time. At least not for me. That was probably my introduction to her, which
Mhm.
is interesting. I mean, now, like, that's a huge name to have in your movie. So,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, Jared Leto.
That cast is very interesting.
Oh, and what's her face? The Enchantress. Well, and Viola Davis. Like,
Viola
I mean,
Davis
like,
was inspired.
oh, what is her name? She's in Paper Towns. I don't know.
No, I don't know her name off the top of my head.
Cara Delevingne? I actually think that's right. I'm so sorry if that's
But I
not
do
right.
completely agree that she kills the role of Enchantress.
Yes, it is right.
Killed it.
Yes.
The Suicide Squad. We're adding the
I still get confused. I had to like Google it to write it down properly. So
But
The cast, I think, was great, and I super loved the Guardians movies. And I think they
Yeah.
have a certain edge that makes them special within MCU, especially to that point.
yeah,
So I was very excited for it. On my first watch, the main issue, I would say like the title issue I had with it was I love having variation in superhero content. I love some things being more silly, some things being more serious.
mm-hmm.
This one I felt was just too in your face. Hey, we got that R rating, and we're going to
Mhm.
remind you of that every 3 minutes.
That's how I felt too.
And to a point where I know there's supposed to be like comedy in it, but it felt pretty untasteful to me.
Yeah, just vulgar to be vulgar.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It was hard for me to see kind of the motive behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the idea of what that team's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It gets to
I
it.
do remember still loving Harley Quinn throughout it, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think even after leaving, I was like, hey, well, Harley Quinn was there, and she was killing it.
Yeah, she had another cunty outfit. I loved it. This one, probably much more comfortable for her to wear, so good for her.
I think I also had a little bit of an issue the first time with replacing one black gun shooting character with another black popular actor shooting character. Like that almost feels a little.
Oh,
I
yeah. I mean, they seem very similar. I feel like.
On paper, they're like essentially.
Well, even their names, I feel like.
Deadshot and Blood
Because.
Bloodsport.
Yeah,
and I love
just
Idris
like,
Elba. I think,
Yeah.
and I think he does great. But
well,
it
and
feels
upgrade. Sorry, Will Smith,
oh,
but like
absolutely.
upgrade.
but it feels a little like. So we're doing this from the last one again, and the kid problem on top of it, and that's being used to make you go do a mission.
Yeah.
So that I had a little bit of a okay. I thought we would do something a little bit different with our like clearly main character again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think a bit of an odd choice works amazingly for me now. I think fun.
Sure.
And then the John Cena of it all. Because it is crazy how much better Flag is in this movie. But I continued like going after it, knowing that Peacemaker was a show that was happening next. At first, being like, so I just saw a bullet go through his throat, and like he's left unattended for a very long time.
Yeah.
So not only that he survives this,
Yeah.
but then the most unlikable part of your movie is the one getting a show.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bold choice, and a choice that at the time I thought was stupid.
Yeah.
As someone who just absolutely hated that character in that role.
Mm-hmm. In hindsight, it's fun, but like, yeah, at the moment you're like, we're supposed to hate this guy.
I don't
Now we're
know.
supposed to watch this guy. Like, at least the Penguin, like, he did bad things, but then I would see why, and I didn't even like the show, but like, just from the initial perspective, like, I feel like you still really like that character,
No,
be interested in the
seeing
character.
the Batman and finding out that the Penguin from his role in the Batman was getting in a show, I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah.
But then the show comes out and they're taking such a different take on him. And I
Yeah.
think it just doesn't match the magic that he had in that movie.
It's interesting. I feel like they do that with both, but one, it's like you were probably supposed to dislike this guy, and then now we're showing other sides to him to make him potentially likable.
Here, my take is a little more like, here's a super underwritten character in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's add that character work in here. And I feel like I continue to feel like in the first movie, I think Unfortunate comes off as a little lazy to not have any part of that conversation with you're like becoming almost like one of the main antagonists of the movie.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, like, how much what happened there. Did he know that they were getting a show? Did he not know? How much power did he have at the time to
Great
intervene
questions.
and give him some backstory? I don't know. Yes, he was the director of both the movie and the show, but because he wasn't like the head at that point.
No, he was just a director.
So yeah, I don't know. That would be
Um,
interesting.
bizarre. So, on the...
Let me think if I had any other issues. Loved Starro.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. The things I liked from the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Loved Starro. I think that adaptation was so fun,
Yeah.
and surprisingly accurate. I think the rats were fun. If Ratcatcher maybe wasn't the most eye-catching, King Shark, loved him.
Love King Shark.
I think so. Right up James Gunn's alley.
Yeah. I was not the biggest fan of Polka Dot Man. I thought that was like the dumbest thing I'd ever heard of in my entire life.
Unfortunately, that is the best he's ever been. Because he's supposed to be a stupid character who just,
Yeah.
like... I don't think he's ever even had, like, the whole, like, multiversal virus. I love the invention that James Gunn did here where it's, like, he didn't pick the theme. Because every other adaptation is a man who chose to be a supervillain and make polka dots be his brand. I like here
Crazy.
that he's messed up and it was chosen for him.
Yeah.
And, like, it's something that his mother was, like, forcing him to go through, and he just still is because he's dealing with his own issues.
Yeah.
I always thought it worked for me.
I will say I feel like I like the actors, so I was okay with it this time around. I didn't hate it this time around. I still think it's a little silly. Like, I can't really fully get on board. But parts of it are awesome. So I think he actually does have some pretty good moments here, actually. Second time around.
Where is she? Everywhere.
Everywhere.
And then everyone's his mother.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, and then the ending just...
Oh, another thing with the ending I don't like is that they hit Amanda Waller in the back of the head with a golf club, and they're, not dead after the fact.
Joel would like to have a word, thank you. Sorry. Spoilers.
No, but it's
Anyways.
true. I don't know. And I fear this is a thing so far in all three of these projects where I hope someone else, if Amanda Waller is the main character of whatever that Waller show looks like, I hope someone else maybe takes a crack at it because I've not loved what
She's
he's
been-
written her to
Yeah.
have in these projects.
Well,
so far.
I mean, and I know she's like evil, but she's like insufferably evil. Like I don't want to watch a show of her. So like, but people have been, rumored like we're not there yet, but perhaps the Waller show may or may not be actually about Waller.
No,
Might
but
just
I will
have
something
her in
I
it.
also
it might not
have
even
to
be
give
called that anymore. I don't know.
something I have to give the original Suicide Squad is I
Mhm.
think that Amanda Waller's role there much better.
Yeah.
I would say undeniably better.
Yeah, I agree.
Any other thing? And then
A lot of the things I still maintain those issues, but most of those issues I think I talked about the ones that I kind of am not bothered by anymore.
Yeah.
But they don't rewatching it before Peacemaker season 1. It was a really fun time, and I was surprised at what a fun time I was having.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Speaking of Peacemaker season 1.
So going into season 1, I
actually don't know
Segue.
if I know this. When did you start watching season?
Oh,
1?
I'm pretty sure like right when it came out.
Interesting.
I
Like,
think
weekly?
so. I think so. I don't know. It was too long ago. Don't ask me this. I don't know what to tell you. But I feel like because we didn't watch it together,
No.
so it's not like. So I watched it on my own, but I guarantee you I watched it. So I think when it first came out, I watched it.
I remember getting the impression with season 1 that like the show is really great in spite of Peacemaker being in it.
Oh, dang.
Like, I truly had that thought. I fear with season 1, I maybe continue to agree a little. I fear, unfortunately, so many other actors and roles are just a lot, I think, in my opinion, better and more interesting than Peacemakers, especially at the beginning. Like, I think Adebayo is very charming, and I think she
What an original character.
Like, for sure. I think
I love her.
Harcourt is amazing. I think it is crazy that she doesn't act in more things because I think she is just such a talent.
Yeah. I feel like people often complain that James Gunn puts like his wife and his friends in things, but I'm like, I don't care whatsoever as long as they keep being good. Like, who cares? He's got talented people in his life. Like, let him be like a Nepo wife or whatever. I don't care.
No,
she's awesome.
She's great. And then Merv.
I loved Merv in season 1. He was a standout for me watching it the first time, and I remember being so sad when he dies. Oh, and Vigilante, so fun. Immediately.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm yawning. Anyways. And Eagly. Why would you leave out Eagly? How dare you? He's
I will say, watching season 1,
pluck your eyes out.
Eagly was a little cheesy, and I will say, I think I continue with the sentiment, considering how much of James Gunn's work has an animal mascot in the team, literally as early as Scooby-Doo. I feel like Eagly is kind of my least favorite attempt at that.
Oh. Well, I mean, Scooby-Doo,
well, obviously there's Scooby-Doo, but then there's Rocket, there's Groot, there's Baby Groot, there's Crypto, the Baby Joey. I'll say he beats Baby Joey, but
yeah, Cosmo.
Cosmo even.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this one just works a little less. He's a bird.
I love Eagly.
And he is silly. So I think he has some great parts. But I think especially at least in season 1, I just don't think
fair. Season 2, he has a really great
he has some
storyline,
but in season 2, which is really fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But in season 1, I think he's there, and I think he's more of like a plot device than I think a character, or not, or like just a.
I love when he hugs him though. That's so sweet, and I love that they continue that. Like, he's hugging me in season 2. I love that.
Economos is there. I think he's fine.
He's always been fine. He's like a steady line of fine the entire season 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, if he has to be here, I don't think I think the actor does fine. It's a fine role.
I mean, yeah.
I think.
That is like so tall. I need to know how actually like how tall he is. Also, because in Creature Commandos, people have been pointing out that the bride is taller than him, and I'm gonna need somebody taller than him if you're gonna cast her in live action. James Gunn, I will be at your house if you. That's for legal purposes. That's not true, but and I don't have money to fly to your house wherever it is.
No, but I would be
in
super
spirit,
excited to see
I will
the bride.
be in your house, at your house, if she's short. Anyways.
No, but also he's talked about how he wants the cast, like the voice cast, to play the actual characters if they go into live action.
Oh.
I fear it'll be something possibly similar to She-Hulk. Like, in how they do that. Like, it's going to be, like, when they act, it'll be the actor, but with, like, the head.
Oh, I would be okay with that.
I think so. I think especially if they do it on a movie budget, I think that'll look great.
Yeah.
So some of the antagonists that we have here, we have the butterflies. I loved the butterflies. I think they were a great antagonist. How do you feel?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's hilarious as well that they keep naming their projects like when you know what it is, it's like obvious. You're like, you named it Project Butterfly, but in the villain, like it's butterflies. But to the outside person, like that still doesn't make sense until you know.
Mhm.
Anyways, I do think that's a good villain though. I think they're terrifying, especially when they like raid the police station.
I
That's
love that
terrifying.
scene.
Yeah. Um,
And then a great needle drop on that scene as well.
yeah. I think when we see the family for the first time and we realize what they're doing, I think it's disgusting and very off-putting.
I will say, when we rewatched it, I thought I might feel a little different, but I actually continue to have the sentiment that the show is too slow until they reveal what Project Butterfly is.
Yeah, I can see that.
But like as soon as it's like, this is what Project Butterfly is, it's like, it feels like I'm actually watching a show.
I wonder
At that point.
if that's because they spend a lot of the first part of the show like building him as a character when they probably should have done more of that in Suicide Squad.
Maybe.
Because then that would have maybe fixed both problems. You would have had a little bit more there, a little bit less here, perhaps.
Very plausible.
Food for thought, so.
So butterflies, I think, are great. I think the whole,
Like the gorilla is super fun.
That was terrifying. It kind of reminds me, in hindsight, a little bit of the eye thing in Alien Earth.
Yes.
That's
That is very
actually
similar.
I do love that comparison.
Get them in a room. See what they have to talk about. I bet him and Merv would have a great conversation. And then also I love the scene where Adebayo has the X-ray goggles and finds out that Merv's a butterfly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other great butterfly scenes. I will say, the first time I had a bit of an issue with like the ending. I fear. I don't know. It works better on the second watch, but the idea of, hey, we're gonna solve all of the world's problems. And obviously there's some lines to that, but I don't know. And then he switches things up compared to his whole mission, which was, his one note the entire movie that I had to watch him be in.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was a little conflicted on that.
Yeah.
I would say I'm at least definitely a lot less so.
Yeah.
But still, I'm a little like, they are saving the world from itself.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Then Judo Master.
Judo Master.
It's, in hindsight, it's so hard to be like, Judo Master, because I loved him in season 2.
He's so great in season 2. I think it is so valid to say, like, I would even go as far to say he doesn't belong in season 1.
He's just bad in season. Like, I don't know. He's just annoying in
No,
season 1.
I think I actually. It's all a matter of opinion, I suppose. But I actually feel like he truly just doesn't belong as a character in season 1.
Yeah.
Like, you have Vigilante and Peacemaker as these, like, crazy superhero guys, and that's, like, the whole bit. That even though they're doing these, like, Black Ops missions with these super serious characters, and they go to, like, small town diners, they still do it in, like, full costume.
Yeah.
But then, and, like, that's supposed to be, like, God, they're weird.
Yeah.
But then here's someone else doing it, too.
Yeah, and I feel like if you take him out of season 1, it changes, like, nothing. So he's just another nuisance to them. Just another, like, probably supposed to be comedic moment of, like, what else could go wrong? And then Judo Master comes in, and it's like, I hate this guy. He's so annoying. He adds nothing. So I'm, and I think that's a shame. It does him a disservice because season 2, I think he's so great, and he actually is a good comedic relief character. I will say
he does great comedic work when you let him have lines that are comedic.
Yes. I will say they do maybe kind of sacrifice a little bit of Vigilante's time.
For his.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way.
I just thought about that.
That's
So,
interesting.
because he had a bigger role in season 1. But I feel like also Vigilante was just a little bit less of a comedic character. He still certainly had several comedic moments for sure, but
Are
he
we
also
talking season 1 or season 2?
season 2. I feel like he had more serious moments. Season 1, I feel like he was mostly just comedic relief, or he was fighting or whatever. Season 2, he has several moments where he's like beaten down about something. Which I think actually is very fun. But yeah, then he just has a little less screen time, and it makes me sad.
Yeah.
So
I think with Vigilante, maybe a little more specific. I'll save that for when we get into season 2.
yeah,
Then there is Peacemaker's depth and arc
With
Keith.
We reveal Keith and his father
Don't
Augie,
remember his.
who is
okay,
the
Augie,
White
yes.
Dragon, which is
Racist
a
guy.
KKK leader.
Super racist.
You hate to see a super racist.
And I'm so sorry for that actor. I don't know him, so I don't know if I should say sorry. But since I don't know you, I'm gonna say so sorry. But you look like a racist. So you look like someone
That's on
like
casting.
everyone should be scared of, like
But-
women, like anybody. So sorry, sir.
As far as this arc, I really like the whole thing with Keith.
Yeah.
I think the like 1-2 punch with Keith in season 1 to season 2 works really well.
Mm-hmm.
As far as August himself, or Augie or whatever his name is,
Yeah.
Dad, I remember having the thought
Father.
that it's maybe a little lazy to have one of your antagonists. I think even next to the butterflies, having an antagonist that's like, we're the KKK, we're the bad guys. So do we have to add any depth here? No, because they're the KKK and they're bad. Like, it almost felt like a way, or at least I perceive it a tad bit of a way, to kind of get around actually writing a villain that's like compelling, where it's like, oh, it's this organization that is bad. You don't need to write anything more than that to make that bad. And it felt like maybe a little bit of an out.
Yeah, because I feel like,
Although it
I
did
can
get us
see
that
that.
amazing gif of him running away from the members.
Yeah. I loved that people were using that. I'm not going to say too much since we're not at season 2 yet, but I love that people were using that for a certain character they were scared of halfway through season 2. And then it ended up fitting really well. So anyways, I think I can see where you're coming from for that. Like, obviously, yes, you don't need much explanation on like why it's bad or in order to get us to understand that it's bad. Like, duh, it's bad. But then it's because you don't have to spend a lot of time establishing that it is bad or why it's bad. Then you have time to do something interesting with that. Now, what that looks like, I don't know. Whether that's like, are you gonna write them where? I don't know.
And I'll also be
what you
upfront.
would do
I don't
with
know
that.
how much of this whole thing with the White Dragon is canon or like has been explored in DC
I
DC
don't know,
Comics at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know if he's just pulling it directly from that.
Yeah.
He does seem to like having his own twist on things.
I will say I feel like he's far more interesting when they are exploring what his character means to Chris rather than just when they dive into his character, because I feel like they really don't dive into his character on his own. I feel like maybe he's like mostly just there as a thing or person to compare to Chris. Be like,
Sure.
look, like Chris isn't bad because he's not his father. Or like, you thought he was bad, look at his father. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, it almost, like, it feels like it's a starting point to, it's in season 2, so it's not, perfect. I'm talking about The Last of Us. But they do raise a really interesting element with Joel. Like, one of the starting, like, scenes of one of those is the whole idea that, like, his dad beats his brother, and then he's being a problem child, and his dad says, hey, someday you're gonna have a kid, and I hope that by the time that comes, you're just at least a little bit better than me. And then that's, like, something that carries on. It feels like there's, like, elements of that here that I maybe wish in season 1 were articulated maybe a little stronger. I mean, obviously, he doesn't have that sentiment, but the idea of, like, improvement from where you come from. Because even though, like we explore a little bit in season 2, you've still done horrible things, and to mention things in season 1 about it, but I don't know, it feels like a lot of the actual character work is a little bit talk heavy instead of, I think, acting heavy, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, I think in season 2 we get a lot, like, I think we get amazing scenes from Chris showing, like, the things that he feels and has changed. or how he's trying to change. I feel I don't get that in season 1. I don't maybe want to say it all, but I would say not enough.
Okay. I feel like we've talked a lot on that. Is it okay if we move
Go
on
for
to
it.
something else? Okay. I've had something in the back of my mind that I wanted to like just throw out there and see if we have anything more to say about it. I do feel like it's interesting. Let me see if I can put this into words because I just now thought about it. What really drives Chris as a character is after he, well, I guess spoilers for the Suicide Squad movie. After he kills Rick Flag Jr., I feel like it's interesting that the thing that really like guts him over anything else is that he calls Peacemaker a joke. I feel like that's interesting because he is listening to someone else's order, but it really gets him that he's maybe not being taken as seriously or not being seen as who he likes to view himself as. One, because I feel like it's easy for some people when they're in a position where they're just like a soldier of some sorts doing what they're told to kind of like take the emotion out of it. I don't think that's right, but I think that happens all the time. And they think that that means that they're not doing anything bad because they're just following orders. But then for him, then somebody points out that his name is literally Peacemaker and you're literally killing me. Because I was disrupting the peace, but that doesn't always mean something bad. Like I was helping people, even if that was going to create chaos. So that I feel like that really just like turns him inside out of like who he is and what he represents and what it should mean to be like a peacemaker. Not necessarily just like the least chaotic thing ever. So, but also like fighting for what's right. So it makes him look inside himself, which I think then when we have that conversation in season 2, about looking inside himself and like really doing what his heart is telling him and not what anybody else is telling him, I think that's very fun. I don't know.
Well
just
said.
something I was thinking about. Like that's cool.
I agree.
Anyways, yeah. That's all.
I also, oh my gosh, I also want to talk about how I think the cast is really funny. And I think I would probably say that like this show classifies as like an action comedy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know a bit that I just have never found funny?
Mm-hmm.
Every time that Peacemaker talks about like the fun facts about other superheroes. Oh, they do that bit.
Oh, like
it's
the
like-
Green Lantern thing
Yes. Or
when he's being interviewed,
yes.
or that Aquaman fucks
Yes.
fish.
That one I think I don't know.
Fucking
I
hate
just-
that rumor or something like
when
that.
he shows up to
That's
respond to it, that's
really
funny. But every other time, I'm just like, I don't know. It feels like a
I don't
worse
know.
line out of The Boys.
I don't know. Well, maybe he's just trying to like make shit up, bring himself down to make him seem better.
I mean,
Which, you know, makes him like from our perspective makes him seem pathetic, but that's where he starts. Like he is pathetic at the start.
that's true.
So.
But I did randomly just remember one of my favorite bits from season 1, which is when someone's getting patched up in a vet hospital. I think Eagly. And they're like tying up the vet team who's there. And like they just convinced Vigilante not to kill them, and they're like, we have to, it might just be us, but we have to go and save the world because no one else is going to do it. Who's with me? I'm with you, and then it's the vet team who was just tied up with a gun. It's like, let's do this. Like, oh no, you're gonna stay here.
I kind of forgot
I
about
loved
that.
bit on the I didn't remember it until we rewatched it, but that is a great bit.
I love that Vigilante's always like basically like punch first, ask questions later, whatever, because I feel like it usually works out for him. I don't know.
Usually.
I didn't want to say like shoot first, ask questions later, because I feel like that's a toxic thing that we're talking about with, like, police officers. So I want to clarify that Vigilante's a good person and has good intentions and is not, like, using
He's just
that as
actually
an excuse.
insane.
Yeah, he's just, like, literally, like, I'm on it before you've even, like, asked him to be on it. He's like, I'm already ready. I'm already there. It's like that Iowa Debris tweet where she's like, I'm seated. The movie's not even out yet. Like, it comes out next year, and the theater employees are so scared of me right now, but I'm seated. I love that tweet. Anyway,
That's iconic.
Yeah.
Bum.
Did you see her response? No, I need to move on.
We'll move on.
I'll move on.
I feel like we keep hitting tangents on this
Yes,
episode.
I need to stop.
Season 2. The big thing here going into it is Superman has been released, and there's a whole new DC universe.
Yeah.
But Peacemaker's still Peacemaker and friends are still here.
Yes. But it's the fallout because Harcourt can no longer work for any government agencies thanks to Adebayo and her speech.
Yes.
Accidentally screwing her over there. So what can you do? He had good intentions. You had good intentions, Queen.
And then I want to start with, on this vein, the retcon.
Yes.
Instead of the
Yeah.
Justice League showing up at the end of season 1, it is they
Justice
show that it's
Gang.
the Justice Gang.
I also think it's fun that Supergirl's with them because, like, she hasn't, like, in the timeline we have no reason to believe that she's actually, like, hung out with any of them.
Mhm.
So, and she probably hasn't, according to, you know, how Superman talks about her. Like, she just goes and gets drunk all the time. So I think that's funny, but I'm still really glad she was there. She's awesome.
I think it's so fun, and she looked great,
Yeah.
even just as a silhouette.
Even just a silhouette, yeah.
But I think that's very bold. I will say with the retcon, and I don't know. Clearly, it's what James Gunn's the one literally making this whole roadmap. So,
Yeah.
you know, whatever he says goes. I continue to feel odd. It's just like the completionist part of my brain where it's like, so it's a new universe, but it's not completely a new universe because just randomly some of these things are going to still be the same, but we're going to act like all of those other projects around those staying projects didn't happen. It feels, I don't know.
What can you do?
It feels
It's
messy and it's
like-
not clean, and I love clean.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't do a full reboot, and I think it is what it is by now. But I do feel like I'm glad that they kept Peacemaker, and didn't keep some other things. I also love it because he's talking about keeping Blue Beetle, and I needed my soul for him to be serious about that because I
That's
love Blue Beetle as a character, and I liked that movie. So there you go.
Fair.
And I love that casting.
Oh, that casting's
My God.
amazing as well. I
Anyways.
completely agree on that
Mhm.
now. What was I saying? Oh yeah. But considering this season takes so much, or let me rephrase. Since a big part of this season is the multiverse, I remember being thrown off at the beginning. That's like, so you have the first season in this old universe, and now the second season in a new universe, and your character in both seasons has a portal to go to other universes. I don't know. I feel like my mind goes to, let's just have the characters I want go to my new universe through the store that we've already set up in the first season, conveniently enough.
But why would they do that?
He does it here. Plenty of reasons to do that.
I don't know. I guess I just don't care. I'm just like, good
No,
riddance,
it doesn't bother a
pretty
lot of people.
much.
I'm glad it does.
I
I'm
don't
glad
know,
it
man.
doesn't even
I'm
phase other
sorry.
people at all. But
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry it bugs you.
I am too.
I can't.
But here we are.
Yeah.
Moving on to actual commentary.
Yes.
I want to start best parts.
Oh, I grew to really like the intro. At first, I wasn't so
Yes,
sure about
the
it
new
because I feel
intro.
like the first season, their intro was so great. Although I feel like even that maybe took a couple episodes to really be like, I'm
They've
in it.
Both definitely needed to grow on me.
Yeah.
I still think I like the first one better.
Me too. But I did like the second one as well. Because I feel like the first episode, I straight up was like, oh, I didn't like that. But I grew to like it. So there you go. It just needed some time to really settle and yeah. Eagly, I think his storyline and everything he did this season was very fun.
I think the lore drop of him being the super eagle.
And they like never addressed that again, and I don't think they
That's
needed
so
to.
funny.
I agree. I think it's hilarious.
It's giving like from Penguins of Madagascar the lore that Mort is like a god, an eternal being who's had like over 36 wives. Like it's similar.
There you go. So okay, I feel like Adebayo was clearly like the queen of this season.
Yes,
especially
I
like
think
the finale. Like, oh my god, she had 2 phenomenal conversations in the finale that make it hard for me to say I didn't like it because I love so many moments from it. And I've come to the conclusion that I don't think it's a good finale, but I did overall like the episode if I'm looking at it just through that lens.
Sure.
So, anyways, we're not there to the dislikes yet. So,
But yeah, I would
Adebayo.
like Adebayo. I think Danielle Brooks does her best work yet with this character,
So good.
and I would say I've seen her a bit in Orange Is the New Black, and I know she's great there as well. I also loved her work in The Color Purple.
Yes.
Love Divine Joy Randolph. So happy that she has her awards. But I think Danielle Brooks easily
She'll get it at some
shoulda,
point,
coulda.
I think. Yeah.
I think if she won that would have been a well-earned one.
Yeah. I think that was a great year for supporting actresses.
Oh, absolutely. But I think
yeah.
she's so talented. I love to see her expanding on a character. I think she has like an interesting part with Judo Master. I think it's really funny that he's the one that's like, so you're upset that she's not accepting your dreams while you're not accepting her dreams. Interesting.
He
Let's
gags
unpack
people.
that.
But he was valid for that.
No, that's really well, and that's an element. Like, what I really love about that is I don't think a lot of other people were seeing it that way either. Like as audience members, I know I certainly wasn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that that drop really works because of it.
Yeah. I think he's great in that episode that you're referring to. I guess now since we're in season 2, I feel like
Go for it.
free reign. When he saves her from getting like hunted, literally hunted, I think that entire scene with them, elongated scene, was great. I think the way he saved her was great. We knew he was going to come around at some point, one way, wherever he was going to be, he was there. And then they were playing Scrabble. I think that's
Scrabble.
Scrabble. And then the whole like gay Buddhist, something like that. I don't know. He lists a few things. Anything I am, really. I think that first of all, that was such a gag. You're like, what? Good for you, King. Well, not this universe, but like, be careful, King. But also good for you, King. But I feel like he like immediately became like really lovable and likable in that scene. Obviously he saved Adebayo, so that's super great. But I don't know, he just showed a lot of personality in that one conversation. It just makes you wonder, like, man, if only he had gotten that very short opportunity in season 1. Like all he needed was one good scene. But anyway,
I mean, one good scene does a lot.
yeah. I also love the bit that he like never takes his costume off.
It is really funny.
Yeah, because I don't think he ever did. We only ever saw his face because he had that interview after the episode. So like even when he had the space suit thing on, or whatever you want to call it, multiverse suit, he still had his mask. I think that's hilarious.
It's very funny. Other great parts, I love the Dimension X kind of like lead up and then reveal.
Yeah.
I think that was done borderline like perfectly.
Yeah.
Like even if you're expecting it, I think the situation around it still works really well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like it was pretty, like, yeah, that makes sense that it's gonna turn out that way. But it was fun to look on the internet and see some Easter eggs that other people caught, like the thing with the flags. And you didn't see the stars. I think that was fun. There was one other thing, but just people like noticing, just in general, that there were no people of color. I think that was a good lead up. You were like, because then it made you really pay attention every time they had a scene in that universe. You were like, oh my god, it just gets crazier every second. Every time you see more people, you're like, this is crazy. And I love that everyone was saying like, man, this better. This is like, at this point, this is bad if it just ends up being like James Gunn casted really poorly. But yeah, I think that was such a great lead up, and what a gag. And then to find out it wasn't just like the flags is one thing, but then the books were, there was like some book thing. On
Hitler's
the
book.
Yes. And then the mural was like, Chris, you're a dumbass. You're actually so dumb.
I love the bit that there's
No,
a mural.
but I still believe that he wouldn't see it. I actually believe that. Any other character, probably not, but him, I'm like, yeah. Because even Vigilante, I'm like, he can be like silly, but he would notice that. But I think Chris is the only one that wouldn't, so I believe that.
I think Vigilante is funny because, like, even though he's sociopathic, the only thing he's, like, really great at is, like, being a vigilante.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's an amazing
Are
comedy
you
character.
fucking kidding me?
I think great transition to another great
Oh
part.
my god.
2 vigilantes.
That was peak Peacemaker. Which is really funny because that's nothing to do
Are
with Peacemaker.
you kidding me? That is one of the best line deliveries.
Like, actually,
Probably
all time.
ever.
Like, I actually need them to give him his flowers. That actor is so talented. I need him to get casted in other things. Rom-coms, like, I don't care. Horror movie where he's the comedic relief in that. He'd be really fucking funny in a horror movie. Like a scary movie or something like Hell of a Summer. He would have been hilarious in Hell of a Summer.
Oh, he would have.
Yeah, like as the camp leader.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God, I need him in something like that. Or like a rom-com or something.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Hear me out. He needs to get on the call with whoever's making the next scary movie.
That's what I just said.
No, like the scary. Oh, I thought you were saying like the scary movie.
No, these scary
That is
movies.
great.
Yes, he would do so good at that. No, because bring back like parody movies. Because I remember the Starving Games. That shit was so funny. Anyways, I think they made one for Twilight. Like, I don't even know.
Vampires suck.
Yes. I think you made me watch some of that. I think that's why I know that. Anyways, he would be great in something like that.
Other best parts, Harcourt.
Or he could pull like a Roderick and be like a fucking Oppenheimer. That would be really. Christopher Nolan pick up the phone and call that man, and I actually would love to see that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways.
I think Harcourt continues to have some great scenes. I think specifically, in like the detainment room with her and Chris. Yeah. I think that's great. I think John Cena's acting really steps up here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen him be as compelling, and I think as deep into his character as he is this season.
Yeah.
He really works for me here in a way that he just hasn't connected with me in anything else as Peacemaker so far. So
yeah,
I super love his work here.
I think it's hilarious that Harcourt was called out for having, what was it?
Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity as a woman. But it's true though, like everything he was listing. I really did love her arc though. The fact that she was called out for picking fights that she couldn't really like win, so she could beat up and be in pain, or get beat up and be in pain, avoiding her feelings with Chris. I feel like the more I sit on it, the more I love the choice that the reveal about the boat was that they just kissed. I feel like I got those vibes from the beginning because it just felt so much deeper than like a drunken hookup. Like it felt like something she was ashamed of, and I feel like a hookup could have just been like brushed off as kind of like silly or whatever. But a kiss, and especially the context of it, I feel like was so much more intimate.
I guess
Love
because
that.
I definitely thought it was a hookup. I think
No,
it's the
and-
idea
yeah.
that it was happening on a boat
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah. But
why,
you like
why are you on a boat?
Yeah.
What were you doing on a boat?
But, you know, how could you have known it was going to be like a party boat like that?
Sure.
Like, yeah. The context for sure matters. And I think even James Gunn commented on that. He said that he was thinking that a lot of people would assume it was a drunken hookup, but that it means more that it was like an intimate kiss.
no,
I totally
think,
agree.
I think that lead up works really well.
And I feel like he did a good job at conveying that. So, yeah.
No, for sure.
Trying to think of some other things that were really great.
I think we definitely
Oh.
got the big ones.
That cyborg girl.
Oh, Bordeaux.
Yes. And then the other guy. The new guy.
Flurry?
Is that the head guy? I don't know.
The one who... The nickname guy?
Yes. I feel like I really disliked them when they first got introduced, but I feel like in the finale I actually was okay with them or maybe even liked them a little bit. Especially Bordeaux. I feel like she came around.
I think Bordeaux came around on me.
Flurry, I think, could have been done better, but I see what they were going for with him, like, losing someone he was just in the middle of making fun of, and then they just died, like, this horrible death, and him being like, oh, shit. I feel like, one, it shouldn't have taken that, like, you're a grown adult, but two, I do also feel like, just in general, that could have been done better, and maybe, like, you spend a little more time on, like, developing that idea.
My thought is, I feel like his whole character works if he's remotely funny with what he's saying.
That's true.
And that character never lands a joke that I find even remotely funny. Bird blindness, can't stand bird blindness.
No, I can't
I'm
tell
so
if
sorry.
he's like serious or not, and I don't think that's a good thing in this.
In the
I'm like,
context, no, I agree.
No, I'm like I can't tell if you're just like stupid because this is what's bird blindness. Like I feel like the Black Mirror like gaslighting episode, but then I'm somehow still being gaslit into believing bird blindness is real, and I'm like. I can't take that seriously,
well, Alicia,
but then
it's a very serious disease.
no,
We can't be making fun of it like this. We're
I
on
invalidate
camera right
that. I invalidate that. Cancel me all you want. Bird blindness is not real. That's made up. Anyways, I'm so sorry if it's real, but anyways,
It is not. Well, I mean, if it is real, then there's a bigger problem. And
No,
it's not
I know.
it's not just because you can't recognize birds. It means that you have something a bigger problem.
yeah, there's like no way. I don't know. Anyways,
Okay, I think we can move on to our
Least favorite parts of Peacemaker
Yeah.
season 2.
I don't know. I feel like it maybe had a similar problem to season 1 where the lead up was a little bit too long as well to the big official twist. However, I liked this lead up more.
Are we referring to the twist of the
That Gen X.
Okay,
It was Gen
Dimension
X.
X.
Yeah, or Dimension X. Right.
I don't know.
I don't even
I
know
think
why.
the lead up was really good, actually. I don't know. It gets started really much quicker. Especially like we see the other Peacemaker in the first episode. We see
Yeah.
that there's another universe. It ends with him killing his doppelganger. I think the pacing starts off really strong, actually.
Okay.
Interesting stuff is happening on either side of the door when we're there.
I will say, I feel like all of us were kind of saying we wish the episodes were a little longer. Because, like, especially I think when the twist episode happened, it was I think it was the shortest episode, which felt crazy to me.
Fair.
But then the finale was long, and I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like the length was the problem with the finale.
Oh, I completely agree.
So they made up for it, I guess.
Other worst parts, I'm gonna say I love so much of what they were building to with this other universe. I hate that them spending half of the season in the other universe has nothing to do with other, like,
That's true.
there being another universe does not have anything to do with this finale.
Yeah, their search, like nothing. That's true. And, they teased that Keith might still be alive, but that never led into anything. I think that's totally fair. I just think it's absolutely wild. I had this theory that I feel like when I realized it wasn't happening, I was genuinely disappointed. I thought he was searching the universes to find another Rick Flag Jr., and I thought that was going to be how they go back into that universe, how Keith gets out. I thought that was going to be the way they connect everything, and then they just didn't.
No.
And you know what? Not that I'm against the idea that they want a jail to throw metahumans in. I just don't think that that's what they were spending the entire season leading towards.
No, I would say that was the whole reason that that's surprising in the finale is, oh, why is that surprising? Because we've not talked about anything like that, actually.
No.
At all. Remotely.
No. Yeah, I agree.
And
I think that in it of itself, a great idea to explore, but I don't think we led to that whatsoever. And then because of that, we didn't conclude what we had been leading towards the whole time.
And I would go as far as to say, like, it would be one thing if they went in and immediately found it. Like, that works for me.
Yeah.
But going on to, I would say, one of the, like, clear issues that everyone kind of agrees on, Rick Flag Sr. does not work for me.
No,
all.
and again, you could have had that moment. Maybe there could have been some twist with the son in that universe where he was like, oh shit, I can't take him home for whatever reason. Or he doesn't want to go with me or whatever.
Like, and there's a clear parallel to connect one of your antagonists to your protagonist.
Yep.
And there's plenty to reflect on there.
Yep.
And then that's
There's
not
so
where
much
you go.
material there.
It's a much better idea than whatever, because I don't even know what they're going for here. Your character's just boring.
Yeah.
And stupid.
Yeah. And I saw some people being like, oh my god, like, this is, like, showing how he's so manipulated by Lex. And I'm like, but we didn't really spend time on that. I don't believe that.
And, like, even at best, he's not being manipulated. I mean,
yeah. I mean, not that we're seeing.
But now he's continuing to be led by these coke-dealing, like...
Oh, the helpers?
Helpers?
Yeah, his
like,
minions or whatever you want to call them.
That makes this like, even if that is what they're going for, that makes this come off much worse for him.
Yeah.
It makes him look even dumber.
Yeah. So it just doesn't do him any favors, like, at all. So I don't think that's what we were building towards.
And especially because he keeps trying to pull, like, hey, I'm a nice guy. Like, the entire season up till that point.
Yeah.
And it's just so dumb.
Yeah, they don't do anything with him. So I think that's silly.
I remember watching that last episode and literally being like, okay, this only works if it turns out he got replaced by, like, Clayface or some other kind of shapeshifter.
No, actually,
otherwise, this is
so
just horrible writing.
Yeah.
He's doing coke while his team is dying, and this is supposed to be the same person from Creature Commandos.
Yeah, I just don't understand that, so I don't know. I agree. I think it was very out of character for him, and everything about it is very insufferable. So, yeah. Anyways.
No, for sure.
There you
And
go.
like,
The whole idea of finding that prison specifically for Peacemaker, dude, you're in the same position that Amanda Waller was in, and the whole point originally of, where's the prison for the Suicide Squad? Bel Rev?
Yeah, Bel Rev. Mm-hmm.
Was that it's an off-the-books prison where you put people and they don't get out of there. You can easily, like, once you arrest Peacemaker, put him there, and then...
Peacemaker's not Superman, guys. Like,
he doesn't have any
can't
actual
get out.
powers.
He can't get out, guys. Is he actually? I don't think he's a metahuman. Maybe
No,
he has
because
like
that was
durability.
the whole point. That they even make a point to be like, and we're putting and this is just for metahumans, right? And he's like, well, we're working on the specifics. So
Yeah.
it's
And
like
then the first
clearly the
person
whole reason
there-
he wasn't thrown
yeah.
in there immediately was because he's not a metahuman.
Yeah. Well, and I just think it's ridiculous again that it's like you have infinite universes. Why are you obsessed with finding a jail for this guy rather than finding a replacement for your son?
Like you don't want to throw him in the Hell Face universe
Yeah,
and
I
call it
don't.
a day.
I don't know. That's just crazy.
Like you're
to
already
me.
arrested. You're already kidnapping him off the books, and you're putting him into like a lush green landscape.
Yeah.
And it's like that's. It feels too much like they want us to get to a certain point and don't care how we get there.
Yeah.
Which feels very sloppy.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, James Gunn has the full picture there, but I feel like you could have the full picture and still get people excited for what's coming, even if they don't know that. And I feel like that's not happening here. It just feels like we're missing things rather than like we're just anticipating what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know. I don't feel like this was led to, and this feels weird.
While
But
we're
we'll
here,
see. We'll see.
While we're here, I want to kind of talk about what we're seemingly leaning towards with this
Yeah.
new prison universe.
Mm-hmm.
So through comments after the episode released and what I was kind of looking up online, Salvation is based on a run called Salvation Run.
Yeah.
That's basically a whole comic line where Amanda Waller does create Salvation, which is a whole nother universe to put supervillains. So they're essentially like having these like land fights for
Yeah.
who gets what dominion. And honestly, that sounds super fun.
Mm-hmm.
The problem here being, the main characters of that whole run, we're looking at Lex Luthor. We have Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker, General Grodd, Martian Manhunter, Catwoman, Poison Ivy. All of these huge names. Hi there. And villains that we know from other
Cats.
stories. And I
And
don't
they're not there.
think you can do Suicide Squad with this run, because this is like a culmination kind of thing.
Yeah.
And not something you can just kind of like
Throw together.
And if you do throw it together, I don't think it works well.
No. And he's already said that the Joker's not going to be involved in that. But then that doesn't make me wonder. It's like, well, then it's not.
What you're trying to do with it.
Yeah. So it's just like you're taking the world from it and nothing else. So then what the heck are you doing?
And it's one thing to like try and adapt it and change what it is. James Gunn does that a lot.
yeah.
But also,
This is like a completely different thing, though.
But also my main problem with it is you're not setting it up as anything remotely interesting.
Because he didn't say
I'm not excited about it
just
at all.
happened. Yeah.
Like, even it not being led to. Nothing about him being put in this universe I find interesting at all.
yeah.
Like, okay, I guess. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even that I don't want him there. It's like, I don't want to spend time here because you've not put anything to make me
we'll
excited
see.
to be here.
There were, animal noises and who knows what. So we'll see who or what is in there. But, like,
I don't know. Especially after you spend the entire episode doing, like, practical behind-the-scenes effect work on these other universes, and you don't want to throw any of that in the universe we're coming back to. Feels like such a weird choice.
yeah.
And I do
agree.
love the scenes where they're going through the doors. I think
Yeah.
that's very fun.
Yeah. What was it, like the Candyland
Yeah,
universe
the-
was very fun. The skull one, we already saw a picture of that, of course, but that was still fun.
The Black Hole one.
Yeah.
Zombies. Zombie pilgrims.
Yeah. That was fun. Lots of fun stuff.
For sure. I'm trying to think of other parts I didn't like.
I feel like there wasn't a whole lot for me. It was just really
I feel like those things really were pretty big, though.
Yeah.
I talked about I didn't like Flurry. I think...
well, it's like the White Lotus finale. It's like 90% of the show was great, and then that finale was like so bad. So, like, put a damper on the whole show or whole season.
How do you feel about the top trio in Dimension X: Peacemaker, Blue Dragon, and whatever Keith's superhero name is.
How am I supposed to feel about that?
Well, how do you? I don't know. I'm not here to put words in your mouth.
What? I don't know what I'm like. They're racist.
They're yes.
What? So how am I supposed to feel?
I'll start.
Okay, I'm like, I need some guidance here. What?
I think the idea behind finding out what Keith looks like as an adult is fun.
I hear he also looks like a racist. I'm sorry, you're an actor.
I think it's also really clued into why is your dad a successful hero in this universe and not the other one. I think that's a huge hint towards what's wrong with this universe.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Well, I guess we started there. I like the reveal that, like, he's not aggressively for the stuff going on in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very fun reveal. I think it's very interesting that even though he believes that, I don't get the impression that Keith does. I would even say specifically because he's the one who starts the run on Adebayo.
Yeah. Well, and the dad's almost in, like, disbelief. Like, why the heck would you do that? I feel like there's a disconnect there. It's like, someone's got to be hiding it from the other person then, because there's no way y'all coexist when one person's that racist and one person's, like, not. There's no way y'all fight together. So I will say, like, I think it's interesting. I feel like the more we sat on it, I liked the commentary that just because he was not in support of what was happening, he certainly was not fighting against it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like all the people with all the Nazis. It's like, just because you're not a Nazi doesn't mean that you're fighting against them, and that makes you, like, complicit.
No, there's
basically.
It's like the idea that, like, if you're not anti-Nazi, then you're Nazi. Like,
yeah,
if you're not against
like, you
what these
can't-
people are trying to do, then unfortunately you're for it. It is
Especially-
unfortunately pretty black and white.
Yeah, for him to sit in that huge house with all that equipment to say that he can't do anything against him, like, that's bullshit. Especially with someone like Vigilante, like, he doesn't have a giant house. He doesn't have, like, all this stuff. Does he have all that money in the other universe, actually? I don't even know.
I feel like I don't remember being there.
I don't remember either. Because I know they go to the same house, and I think he goes to the basement, but I don't remember seeing the money.
I don't think so, because I think it was just a lot more weapons.
Yeah. So, but he's actually doing something, and he doesn't have, or at least I don't think he has as much money as you have. So, or if he does, he's using it on, you know, more important things.
I want to inject really quick. Another thing I love is the idea that Peacemaker and Vigilante are rivals in this universe, and, like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I really wish they maybe did a little more with that, because that is just set up so perfectly. Continuing into the another big problem. Why does Vigilante not have more to do here?
Yeah.
He was so great in the first season, and then you're cutting down his time here. I just think very bizarre.
Yeah, I agree.
And even hearing some of his comments about Vigilante, it feels like there's a bit of a disconnect between him and the audience of season 1.
Oh, there certainly is. James Gunn has admitted, like, he just thought he'd be, like, a nothing, like, comedic character. But I'm like, and, you know, that can be an excuse for season 1, even though I still liked him in season 1. But season 2, like, you know now that people love him. Like, there's no longer an excuse to not write him well. Like, you may not see it, but then it's your job to realize,
like,
that
if you're going
like,
to keep him here, like, or, like, it's one thing if you just don't want to use him, but he's still here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just weird to me. Sorry for that little kind of break from
No,
it. But
yeah,
back,
I think that's valid.
I want to go back to Keith and Augie in that other universe.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were kind of wondering if they were building up to Keith going after Adebayo and Chris having to choose.
Mm-hmm.
I think ultimately that's kind of like a hint of that is what ultimately kind of happens. I wish maybe that was a little bit more explicit, because I think Keith is just... It feels like he's just too explicitly off the deep end, and none of the other characters are acknowledging that, which feels odd, because it feels very intentional that that choice was made, but no one else is kind of reacting to that. Which feels odd.
Yeah.
Um,
And again, like, maybe that kind of goes hand in hand with the finale not wrapping that up well. And, you know, again, you needed to wrap that up. I think that could have solved so many problems. So, but you didn't. So what now?
But you didn't.
But you didn't.
Other
And now you're trapped.
Another talking point. How do we feel about Red Saint Wild? Our eagle hunter.
I mean, he was fine, I guess. I'd never really cared about him, but it gave us the eagly moment, so sure, I guess. Gave us another cameo of that actor, which is, well, more than a cameo, but...
No, I don't know. I don't know if it's just how it has to be to have these characters do what they're doing, but I truly just I feel like, considering their roles, especially in the beginning, we spend too much time with their team.
I think that's kind of what I meant about the earlier part of season 2, is it's like, you have one, like, really interesting storyline here, because it seems to have an interesting lead up to something, and then this I don't care about at all.
I truthfully think you could have cut, like, every time they were, like, talking in the van out.
Yeah.
Like, I think if Red Saint Wild just showed up and had that beef with Eagly with none of, like, the conversation in the van, I think that actually would have been a lot stronger. Of him just, like, showing up and being, like, and everyone giving him the weird eyes. Like, I don't think you need to lead up to him being there. Like, and how he fits into this team of agents. I don't care.
Don't care.
Get to the good bits is essentially how I feel about, like, that entire, like, Argus team. And also it feels very bizarre that Economos is still there. Like, why does Harcourt get the treatment and not Economos? Like, they both were equally as involved with everything that Waller had against Harcourt.
I guess Adebayo didn't say her name, I guess.
Not Adebayo, Economos.
Yeah. But that's why Harcourt... It was because Adebayo said her name.
Oh, did...
So...
I don't
what
know.
can you do?
Annoying, but... I don't know.
Yeah.
Economos just continues to be such a whatever character.
Yeah, I agree.
That's trying to make sure we... Oh, another thing I didn't like was Flag in the other universe. It's Flag
Really?
Junior. Because I don't know. Enchantress or June... What is it? June Moon is Enchantress's real name. Mm-hmm. She white. So she still be over there. I understand, like, universal differences or whatever. And I don't think the kind of retcon that he just kind of cheated on the Enchantress feels out of the blue and a little unnecessary. I don't know. I didn't love making this character that just became beloved become a cheater.
Do we know that he did? For sure? Or could he have been single in this universe?
Well, we never talk about Enchantress in the new universe.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering is maybe she doesn't exist in this universe.
That might happen, but I don't love either way the retcon of him cheating on his wife with Harcourt.
But do we know that he does? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, because they talk about how they were close in our timeline, or the main timeline.
But I guess, do we know that they, like, actually got together?
I'm interpreting that as yes.
I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't make sense. I just don't know for sure.
I don't know. If
Maybe
anyone
needed to be a little bit more clear about, like, who close friends versus, like,
they were in a bed together.
Friends. Well, in the new universe.
I don't think that was in the new universe, because then it cuts to her talking about her relationship with him at his funeral.
I don't know. I think we already had this conversation, but we couldn't figure out. We couldn't.
You
like,
can't figure it. I'm solid on what
Well,
I watched.
Well, but it's subjective, so.
But
anyways.
whatever. I think it's all messy at best. Other things. Peacemaker gonna move. That's fine. Finale, salvation, checkmate.
Great conversation point.
Sure.
So basically, I guess the big thing about the finale before being banished to salvation is Adebayo and the 111th Street kids. It's 111th or 114th. I keep flipping between that in my head for some reason. But they start Checkmate, which is their detective agency, I guess. I don't know if all of these characters necessarily are good at detectiving, but they're capable, I suppose, at stuff. I don't know. It continues, I think, to be similar to how I feel about Salvation Run, where it's like... It feels like he thought this was going to be something that, like, specifically was going to make people excited with a name drop. But I don't think anyone's general audience connects to that at all, other than, hey, these characters are probably coming back. And then we have Flurry on the team. And then I'm immediately less excited about it.
I don't know. Guess we'll have to see.
But in the comics, I looked it up a little bit. Sasha
Bardo is canonically on that whole thing. It's originally started by Amanda Waller. And then it eventually becomes similar to, like, the Hellfire Club, where there's, like, leaders named after chess pieces. Interesting. It's an interesting and loose adaptation to what it seems to be. G.I. Robot's on the team at some point, who we've seen before. And apparently it's involved in the takedown of the Salvation Program. So, I don't know. With that in mind, it feels like that would be leading into a Season 3. So it feels weird that... Am I crazy, or has James Gunn announced that he's not doing a Season 3? Or at least that's not going to be the next time we see these characters.
I don't think there are plans of it.
just feels odd. What's next? So I figure the next two likely places for us to see any of this continue is going to be either Waller or Superman of Tomorrow. What do you think the odds are on that? On either?
Sure. I mean, I think Waller could potentially turn into a Checkmate show. I also wonder if the Green Lanterns are going to get involved in their show. If, I don't know what the timeline is on that, but like, if they find out that metahumans are being sent to this weird place, like, they're going to get involved. So, just kind of depends on what they're doing in that show and, you know, the timeline of that. If it's just Peacemaker, I can't imagine they'll know about that. But, I don't know. So, I think the most likely is the Waller show, if that stays the Waller show anyways. But I think there's a chance, depending on what they do in the Green Lantern show.
You know what I just thought? With the Waller show, having them officially decide to be a part, maybe Waller is referencing Adebayo going back to her original last name. Which I think is an interesting note.
Danielle Brooks being the
Title character of your show, I think is a great pitch.
any other things that could possibly connect? I can't
super think of anything.
Not really. I mean,
know.
people were theorizing, but I feel like this is a super loose theory. Like, sure, but it could happen, but it also, I think, could very clearly not happen. They were theorizing that, like, the Creature Commandos could be in that universe that Peacemaker was sent to. I'm like, I mean, I feel like it's one of those, if they want that to happen, it'll happen. But I'm like, I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's
we don't have
interesting.
enough information. I feel like it's just so, like, we know nothing about that universe.
Yeah.
So, sure, I guess anybody could be in that universe. They
Sure,
could do
why
whatever they
not?
want. Yeah. Like, on the other side of those trees could be literally whatever they want. So, sure. But I think you could throw any theory out there and you could also say sure. So, whatever. Take that as you will. Don't get your hopes up, basically.
Is there anything that you would say want or expect
From seeing these characters again?
I mean, I would have liked a conclusion on that other universe, but I think that's long and gone. I have no idea. Like, it's very just bizarre to me. Like, who else is going to get thrown in there, and how is that going to develop? Who's going to get them out? What's that interaction going to look like? Like, I just have no idea. What's the gang going to be up to? Are they going to save Peacemaker? Are they going to go find somebody to help them save Peacemaker? I just have no idea. It's hard for me to imagine, like, Superman interacting with them. So we'll see.
Like, it feels weird to imagine them continuing any of these threads outside of their own project.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that, like... Well, and because Peacemaker's in the universe, like, I could totally see the universe coming into play in any projects. But, like, then Peacemaker kind of has to be in it. And I'm like, that's what I'm struggling to see, some of these contexts. So, I don't know.
Sure.
Whatevs.
Cool. I think that's about it. Oh,
Loosely, where do you think this lands among some of the superhero shows that we've seen this year?
I mean, better than Penguin. So, better than Creature Commandos. I don't know. We've seen Marvel Zombies, Ironheart. What else have we even seen this year?
There have been some solid ones. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
I mean, I think this is a solid one. I think I would say overall I liked the season except for, like, the end part of the finale, really.
Yeah.
I think it was
Ooh,
solid.
There was a point I completely forgot to bring up, and I suppose we'll end on it. A theory I've kind of thought of with the idea that James Gunn created Peacemaker Season 1, presumably with the idea to continue it into a next season. Between that, he became the head of DC Studios. And first movie he wanted to make was Superman. With that in mind, and with what our finale is, I can see a situation where he kind of bends the script that's already there to include a lot of these elements from Superman that don't, I think, necessarily feel like they fit with what the overall season's trying to do.
Huh? I'm lost.
It feels like he might have changed what Season 2 was supposed to be to fit some of these Superman elements into this season, which I think could explain why, especially in the finale, with all of these evil goons from the Superman movie and this whole tone shift with Flag, who was also in the Superman movie, feels very super left turn from where it feels like this show is going, both as an arc and tonally.
Which I think is a shame, because I feel like when Lex came in to meet with Rick Flag Sr., I think that was great.
I think that worked really well.
Yeah, it was when his goons came in, and then it seemed like we were watching two different things. I think that's a good point. I totally agree. I don't know if that's just him struggling to combine the two, or if it's or struggling to determine whether he wants it to be its own thing or if he wants them to be connected. So I don't know. I feel like they didn't need to be in the finale. That I could totally see that being like but they can be, so, like, here you go. But then that makes it suffer a little bit. So
But then my thought is also,
don't know.
just because they can doesn't mean they should. 'cause,
Yeah, oh, for sure.
No one
yeah,
like, I don't think
that's what
anyone
I'm
on
saying.
the internet thinks that they're a good inclusion here.
No. But yeah, that's what I'm saying is like I think that's very possible to have happened that way, where they're like, but they can, but no one was there to be like, but should they? He needs Peter Safran to be like, but should.
Oh, Peter Safran.
But
The
should.
the things you may or may not be doing.
I don't even know.
He's so quiet.
But you know what? Good for him if it all burns down one day, because he'll get out unscathed.
He'll be like,
He'll be like, DC?
No one even knows I was there.
He'll be like, I don't think I was there. I think that's a Mandela effect, actually. He could so do that. He'll be like, no, like, my name was on it, but James did all the work. Like,
You know, my man James.
which would be so, like, shitty, but, like, just like, thinking about it, it would be really funny. But,
would be
anyways,
All right.
in a theoretical situation. Sorry.
That is
Sorry,
going to
James.
wrap up our conversation on the Peacemaker saga, if you will.
Sure.
And why won't we? We
Why
shall.
not?
So
No.
please let us know. What did you think of Peacemaker seasons 1 and 2? And where do you think we might see any of these characters again? I'd love to hear theories.
Yeah. And
Love
what
it
do you
here.
think about the Lantern show coming up?
Oh, I'm very excited for that.
Oh, me too.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah. But I'm asking y'all. You answer. Love
Let
you
us know in
guys.
the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'm Luke,
I'm Alicia.
and thanks for watching Not So Straight Nerds.
Bye.